You're not doing the funny thing.
No,
Okay.
I'm not doing it anymore.
Movies.
Don't get me started on movies.
Okay, so no movies.
I said don't get me started on movies.
In a good way or a bad way?
I guess I'm just frustrated as a viewer that there's not really anything. Not okay. I should say anything decent, right? And I'm not sure if this is because I'm getting older now, but I remember back when you and I were in college, on $5 Tuesdays, we would just go watch any random movie. It looked interesting, right? And it'd be like, it could be a very good movie that we're like, oh my god, I can't wait for this to come out. Or it could be like, oh, I don't know, it's only $5 to go watch it. But movies don't captivate me like that anymore. Like, it has to be either an actor I like a lot, or a director I like a lot, or a series I'm invested in or something, right? That's what gets me out.
Or A24.
A20, exactly, or yeah, exactly, or A24. But yeah, like I don't know. Do you feel this way? Do you feel like there's not like any decent movies? Like, I'll ask my friends, hey, like let's go watch a movie. All right, cool. I'll go on Fandango. There's nothing good out. Like nothing that worth my time watching.
I'd say the industry has definitely changed.
Okay.
So, a lot of what you see in the theater are leftovers of whatever Netflix, Amazon, and Google and whoever has bought out, right? So Netflix had a certain target of 200 movies, 100 of them have to have some famous actor in it, right? I'm making those numbers up.
Yeah, yeah.
What does the rest of the non-platform publishers get as far as scripts go, right? Or as far as the actors, because it takes time to make these movies, right?
Yeah.
So if the actors are in Netflix movies, they're not in other movies being made to being shown in movie theaters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you think of Paramount, they have their own platform. I think it's really is Universal owned by anyone?
I don't think so. Like DreamWorks movies, you mean, right? Like
Is
like
that
Shrek and stuff.
Yeah, is that
I don't know. I feel like they're owned by like whoever like the bigger owner of that company is they go on those
that's
platforms.
another thing is the hierarchy of these companies, and it's like Coke and Pepsi. It's like they own 20 different brands.
Forget the hierarchy. What I don't like is how there's like 17 different streaming services now. Oh, we own the rights.
Hold on. Let's get. My thing with the movies
Yeah.
is there's so many of those people like Netflix that grab up these scripts that movie theaters don't have a good selection of movies anymore because of that, right? Like Mel Gibson's in this movie on Netflix, or whoever. Jon Stewart was on Apple TV, so he can do Comedy Central, right? And I think what you're starting to see is movie theaters have really those one-off huge blockbuster hits like Fast and Furious and stuff like that. You're not gonna get a lot of or you're gonna get the bottom of the barrel. I don't want to say bottom of the barrel, but like
independent movies,
low budget independent movies, right? You're not gonna get a lot of in between. You're not gonna get the double A. You're gonna get the triple A, or the single A, and so what ends up happening is people want the theater in their home, and their screens at home, and people like you and I don't want that. We want the social experience.
I love going to the theater, even because as a college student you're not buying popcorn. Well, especially now you have to put a down payment on popcorn, do a credit check to get 2 candy bars. Pull out a loan for something, put money in escrow to all that. Anyways, but it's the fun. It's like that whole, oh hey, I'm gonna get the candy. What do you want? You go to the dollar store, get some candy. We'll buy the popcorn. Sneak it in, right? Movie theaters, I don't think care. They know everyone's doing it, right?
I got a story after you're done.
You do, but yeah, I just love that aspect of oh, let's meet at the theater. We'll go watch a movie. Let's not eat anything at the movie. Let's not get any popcorn. We'll eat out after the movie. I love that, right? Yes, you can have those type of things at home in the comfort of your home. And I'm not saying, oh, I want to go to the theater every single day, watch every single movie there, but the ones I care about, or the ones that I want to. Actually, I guess that's another thing. How do they know what I care about, right? But I like to watch at least one movie a month I would like to at least, you know, in the theater. It's just that like experience. It's fun.
It's the social, it's the fun, and but remember, there's trade offs to that fun.
Yeah.
So you ever been to a premiere? Call it like the new Fast and Furious movie or whatever, and
Like
or
opening
like
night?
Den of Thieves 2 opening night, or
I've been
the
to opening
following
night for Star Wars.
okay, and then
Yeah.
or the following Tuesday, it doesn't matter. And then you have those people who talk, who have their phones go off. It's even the cell phone light, and they're in front of you. Just you see this thing like blaring. That has still they have not solved that. People still ruin the experience, and people would rather have a 65-inch TV at home, and they're right in front of it. They get to control whatever sound quality comes out.
Yeah.
They get to rewind it. There's no ads in the beginning. There's a lot. I think movie theaters need to build on their value. And what's interesting is you're starting to see places do like the airplane model approach, where
that?
if you want a good seat, you pay a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
And like it's like that tiered pricing. Seats in the very back are going to be cheaper than the seats in the middle or in the near the
They're
front.
doing that?
They've started to. I'm sorry. I don't know if they've started to do that, but they're
Yeah.
talking about doing that.
I don't know how I feel about that.
So it's like that on top of like the Netflix stuff. It's like, hold up,
Yeah.
these guys need to really pivot and find a new strategy.
I want to go back on your story. You're saying how people talk in the movie. I love being immersed into that world that I'm watching. Right. I was watching a movie once in theaters, and this lady like 4 seats down just kept laughing at every single thing that happened. It'd be the smallest thing, like a pen would fall down on the floor, and she is like riled up. She's like hysterically laughing. And it wasn't just once, it was throughout the movie, and it honestly took me out of that world that all those people in the movie worked to captivate. I'm the audience, the director, the cinematographer, all of them, they work and they want you to be invested in this movie. And then you have like some idiot who's just not being mindful of that. But then this is the other thing too. If you're watching at home, you have the capability of just pausing it. I'm gonna pause it and go use the restroom, or I'll have to take a call. Oh, let me rewind it real quick. You're still like, you kind of are out of that like world. You kind of like came back to reality, because when you're in theater, you can't pause it. You can't rewind it. You have to go to the bathroom. You gotta hurry up.
That forces you to be locked in.
Yeah, you're right. You're just locked in the movie. I like that aspect, but yeah, I don't like people talking in it.
In addition, there's the whole opposite effect that happens too, or maybe not the opposite effect. Sometimes what makes a movie, especially if you're going to see a comedy,
Yeah.
is the fact that other people are laughing.
No, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So it's like, it's not just you laughing, but there by yourself in your room. It's
Yeah.
the whole audience was dying laughing, and that makes it a good experience as well.
No, I agree
it
with
adds
you.
to the movie.
I actually want to say a real funny story. So,
I'll actually really
you gonna
before
say?
that,
Yeah.
I just thought about, remember when we went to go see, what's the nuclear bomb movie again?
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Remember? So, and this is something that maybe I was the only one who caught, or the only one who liked. So when the nuke went off, and the audience was so quiet, you couldn't hear a pin drop in there, and I was like, it's just. I'm realizing that the audience is so quiet because we're all locked into that scene.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I'm here clapping in my head like, oh my God, that was amazing. That scene was so captivating. No one said a word.
No.
Sorry, go back to where you're saying.
No, I like that. Two stories real quick. So you were saying like the audience laughing. During college, it was finals. My friends and I trying to figure out what to do. Long story short, we figured out like, okay, we'll watch Keanu. It was a movie with like Key and Peele with the cat. It was supposed to be like a John Wick parody thing. We went there, and I think this was like 3-4 weeks after the movie had already like started, like the first showing of it. It was the three of us and one random guy way in the back. And I kid you not, it was just us four laughing.
Just you, wow.
Us four just laughing. I can only imagine how funny the movie was, like if you had a full audience. But that being said, like when you go watch like blockbuster movies, like I'll never forget. I remember I went to watch Avatar, like the first one back in like what 2009. The theater was like packed, right? It was packed. They had concession stand inside the theater. I've never seen that.
Wait, what?
Yes, the concession stand was inside the theater. Like there was a guy who I remember he had like the first the iPhone 3GS. That's what it's called. Or was it called a 3G? I can't remember. But he had like the old iPhone, and they gave him like a bunch of snacks and sodas and stuff, and he was just doing the calculator on his phone. And I was like, this is crazy. Like what? I came out of the theater and I was like shaking. I'm like, that was the greatest movie experience ever.
That's amazing.
But that being said, when the second one came out, I'm like, no, I'm doing this like right. I'm gonna sneak in some candy. I'm gonna have my favorite soda with me. I'm gonna buy popcorn in the theater, get the best seats, and I remember I got a bunch of my friends like, hey, do you guys want to watch this movie or not? I'm buying tickets. It was an experience. And that theater was, like I said, it was packed.
How'd you like the second one?
It was fantastic.
Nice.
There are some movies where I'm going to complain like, oh, I didn't like how they did this. I don't like how they did that. With a movie like Avatar, I enjoy, like, what I paid for the ticket, what I paid for the experience, not just watching the movie, but, like, you know, my outing with my friends, and we all enjoyed this movie and everything. I thought it was worth it. The movie was solid. You know, the visuals were fantastic. It just, I think it paid for itself.
My old friend and I, we went this one time. I forget what the movie was.
Mm-hmm.
We bought Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out how to sneak in 3 chicken sandwiches, 3 drinks, and fries, and
Wow.
into the movie theater. So she had the good idea of getting big jackets that like cover us so
Yeah.
that, you know, we look like this,
Yeah.
right? So we're like this with our hands down, but inside there's like a little, like it's like a little pocket or something that held the bag. So we're walking in like this, and the security guard says to us, I can see, I know you got something in there. We're like, what are you talking about? We're still walking straight, like looking back at the security guard. Like, what are you talking about? Honestly, you can't fool me. You open up, what's in there? And then you just see Chick-fil-A bag, drink, and then
Did they let you keep
get that
them?
out of here. No.
What?
Get that out of here. Go bring it back to your car. I was like, yo, that's I cannot believe we did that. And I'm like, yo, I can afford this popcorn. I can afford the candy. I can afford getting it here. Why don't I just do that? Like, I was so, like, embarrassed, man. I did not want to go back to that. I don't think I've been back to that movie theater since, to be honest.
Funny thing you say that. I think movie theaters are realizing that now, and they're offering, like, better foods. Like, they'll have, like, cheese fries, pizzas, like...
True.
Like, you know, all these other, like, burgers and stuff. Like, I remember I used to watch this one YouTuber, and he had these, like, blogs type video series he had, and he went to go... He lived in Florida at the time. And they have theaters there where they, like, you literally just order, like, it was like a little tablet, and you just order food while you're watching a movie, and it just comes to you. I'm like, this is so sick.
Yeah, like, don't you push a big red button? And back, at least before COVID, you push a big red button. It was certain IMAX.
Really?
Or, like, the 4D seats. Push a button, they come to you with a menu.
Really?
And they say, what do you want?
I don't know about that.
And, yeah, and you have to tip them, too.
Oh, wow. But going back to your sneaking in story, I remember I was in high school, and a bunch of my friends had just gotten Chinese food. One of my friends didn't finish his Chinese food, so he had a box of Chinese, and the movie theater was right next door. We were going to watch, I think it was Hulk we were watching. This dude put like the big takeout trays, right? He just put it in his pants, and it worked.
And it worked.
That's what I'm saying. It worked. He walked in, right? It was just the thing is he was like a big guy, and he also had like very big like baggy pants. so it didn't really look like anything different. And
And if they got it wrong and they thought it was just his leg, they'd be sued.
So yeah, and so like the thing, since it was in his leg, he like put his hands in his pocket so he was able to like stabilize the back from it falling opening, and then we kind of look like the dummies, kind of like, dang, this dude over here eating his friggin' little lo mein in the theater, and we're over here still hungry. So.
Oh man, see, and like I said, like now I get it. They want, that's part of their money.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just the ticket. If they only made money off the ticket, they wouldn't be in business.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you gotta improve on the food. They have a bar, but I don't want to drink. I don't want to get hammered before watching a movie either.
What's his name?
It's like you start walking backwards. You walk into the wrong theater. It's dark. You're drunk. Never a good combo. So yeah. No, I mean, so general state of the movies, like industry, and even movies on Netflix and stuff. It's so weird because I remember when Netflix started to come out with more movies, I was like, okay, these movies are different. Like they have the same actors and similar plot lines.
Yeah.
But they seem still a little flat. And I don't know why or what it is, and maybe it's just me. I may be just bugging, but they don't compare to what I've seen in the past.
Yeah.
My all-time favorite movie is The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Like the second one were phenomenal. I love the third one too. But when they did the re-release, man, it was too trying to fit into the mainstream, right? Because Matrix 1 isolated a lot of people. They're like, I don't know what this is about, stuff like that. I think nowadays movies are trying to be too mainstream and too digestible.
Yeah.
Whereas, except for the Christopher Nolans, right? With the Inceptions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the Interstellars. When those come out, it's like a breath of fresh air.
No, exactly.
Like,
I agree.
I'm thinking, I have to go watch it a second time to understand. I love that. That is like what I yearn for. But people want the cookie cutter action movie. Even romantic comedies, they're like they only exist on the platforms. They don't make things specific to movie theaters like they used to. It's always the AAA, quadruple A blockbuster.
I don't mind like occasional like action movie, but I have noticed myself like as I grow, with my love of cinema and everything, I definitely know like what my niches are, like what kind of like things I like, what kind of genres I'm into or themes or whatever.
What are some of those?
If I were to tell you like my top like 3 or 5 movies, you would see the bottom theme is like it has to do with space, or it has to do with some sort of science fiction. But now I want more depth in my movie. I'm not sure if this is a thing where it comes with age or if it comes with like, hey man, I'm paying money, I want to get my money's worth, right? Because I feel like it's the same with video games too now, at least for me. I can buy Call of Duty and it's gonna be a shooter. What's gonna be different?
That's like your fast food.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but like, then what's that game where you're like, oh my god, dude, my mind is blown. Like Prey, fantastic, right? I think it's the same with movies. Like I want, and the thing is, I don't want so few either.
You
like
want
I
your fine dining.
No, I want my fine dining, but I don't want them to come out with fine dining twice a year. Like, give me more.
Yeah,
we want more. Like I think they're afraid. Like you're saying. They're afraid maybe because maybe the people that want like that really like in-depth movie where you gotta watch it a few times or whatever, right? You really have to lock in. Maybe they're afraid that, oh hey, we're gonna lose money. No one's really interested in this type of stuff, right? But then looking back, those movies are the ones that are like classics. The same thing happened with Fight Club.
Yeah. Like, Scarface too.
Yes.
Scarface didn't do. I mean, I didn't really check this, but I heard that Scarface didn't do as good and wasn't considered a classic at the time.
Yeah,
but now,
like you've never seen Scarface, really? Like but I think what we need to see is more risks.
So, what are your top 5 like movies?
My number 1 movie, I'll tell you right now, is Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, wait, why?
Blade Runner, that movie changed my life.
How did it change your life? I already know this. But how did it change your life?
Let's just say, I'm going to leave a lot of things out. Let's just say it made me start thinking in such a, like, that movie was so deep. I can't explain it to you, but what I can say is though, it made me take the initiative of going for my master's.
Nice.
So I don't know. Not that I was
Well, like
complacent of not
what
taking it,
about
right?
it?
But
Like what about the movie
it was just
drawing you in?
it was just so beautiful.
By the way,
I
the
love-
setup is just just give people context.
Yeah.
The whole idea was, hey, come over. There's
Yeah.
this movie I want to watch, Blade Runner. I
Yeah.
think was it the
It was
movie?
it was your place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, my place. But did I say let's watch Blade Runner?
No. We were thinking about watching movies. You, me, and another friend of ours, and we just happened to watch Blade Runner.
The first one.
No, this is the second one. We watched the first Blade Runner at my place years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
And then, this night I think we just randomly just picked it. Like,
Okay.
let's just watch Blade Runner.
Yep. And so we're in my room, and then,
Yeah.
just put it on. I remember you were quiet.
No, I was quiet.
You were quiet.
I was quiet.
And then Kamar was like,
No, I thought it was the other movie.
our friend was just like, and it was like, I look, you guys are locked in, and I'm gonna let you guys be. I don't even think I went to the bathroom, to be honest. I don't want to break the illusion.
No one moved. No, but that movie was so.
But was it like?
I love the aesthetic.
What was the poem?
Oh, the poem, Pale Fire. I think the name of the book. I can't remember. I was trying
What
to
did
find.
it say? What did it say?
Oh, like when he's like interlinked.
Interlinked.
Cells within cells.
So people don't know that came from a poem.
Yeah, it came from like a poem. It's like this really long like book. It's this book, and like the whole book is like I think it's like 4 different poems. I can't remember. I might be wrong, but I want to read that book just to see like what inspirations from that book, besides like what they use in it, right? Inspired into like went into the movie, but
And did you like the movie special effects?
everything was fantastic. Like the visual
The
effects were
script.
amazing. The script was amazing.
acting
The
was
writing, the acting, everything. Like it was just everything I wanted. Everything was just perfect.
How did you react to the Cyberpunk game?
That was a lot of big promises, and nothing was.
But did you play the
I played it. It was fun.
V4?
I
Like the
played
reboot?
it. I played it when So it came out. When did it come out? Like 2022 or no 21 or 2020?
Yeah, it was like shortly after COVID.
So I bought it then. I didn't play it till like they had like the massive patchwork. Like I think like 2 years later or like a year later. So I decided to play it. It was fun, but there's just things like in an open world game like that, you kind of have to have like like there's some things expected by gamers like naturally, right? The game lacked in. I think now they fixed it. I'm not sure. I've heard that they fixed it, but you can't really customize your cars. The way you buy cars is weird. You get like I think you get like a text message or something. I can't remember. It's been so long since I played the game. The cops suck. Like in Grand Theft Auto, you get 3 stars. All right, you gotta put aside like 45 minutes to escape these guys. 5 stars, yeah, call up the next day, right? These cops like they don't put up any sort of like fight or like it's not really hard to get rid of the cops. The driving mechanics weren't as fun. It just
Got it.
not that I was looking for a Grand Theft Auto style game, but I wanted like things of that nature because it's cyberpunk. Like, why would you not want to customize your car in a futuristic city?
Mm-hmm.
So
And so did you get any Blade Runner like vibes from Cyberpunk? And when you watched the movie, did you get like?
I wasn't even thinking about cyberpunk when I was watching that movie. That wasn't even in the same like hemisphere of my brain.
Yeah, like it was too.
I wasn't even thinking about cyberpunk. Probably because cyberpunk is like the game at least is like extremely violent, right? This movie doesn't really have that much violence compared to cyberpunk. But the movie was just so.
Did you
beautiful.
So you saw that one first. Then you seen.
I saw Blade Runner, the original one with Harrison Ford first, and then I saw 2049.
And do you you needed to see the first one in order to?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You didn't need to.
Okay.
But yeah, that movie's another example. It bombed in the box office.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And now people like looking back, people are like, "Oh my god, I love the movie. It's amazing."
And who did the score on it?
Hans Zimmer did the score on it.
That's like your favorite composer or something.
He's one of my favorite composers. And you know who directed it?
Who?
The guy who directed Sicario.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I can't remember his name right now.
What are some of
Danny
your
Villeneuve,
other
right?
what are some okay, yeah. What are some of your other movies that your top five? So I was gonna say Cyberpunk, Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. For number 2, I don't know. I want to say. Okay, in no order, the movies that come to my head, besides Blade Runner, the next 4 movies, I would say Silence by Martin Scorsese. Amazing movie. Amazing
I'm a
movie.
Scorsese fan. How come I
Amazing
don't
movie.
remember that. Okay.
It is. I just loved it.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about that movie. I've seen it 3 times. It's so long. It's like a 3.5, 4 hour long movie. Amazing.
Next.
Arrival. I loved Arrival. It was.
We saw it in your basement.
I made you and
biscuits and like
and-
hot. No, it was like
No, it was something
coffee.
else. I think it was coffee.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
Americano coffee or something. Okay.
Something like that.
And
Oh
four?
yeah, Arrival. So yeah, Silence, Arrival, Ad Astra. Ad Astra was amazing. Again, the space theme.
Sunshine.
Sunshine was good, but that movie was so
Martian?
like Martian. No, I wouldn't say Martian. Mr. Nobody.
Okay.
Mr. Nobody's really good.
And then your Blade Runner.
And then the Blade Runner, yeah.
I
What
think
about-
that was 6, but yeah.
No, that was Blade Runner, Silence,
Ad Astra.
Arrival, Ad Astra, Mr. Nobody.
Silence. Anyways,
I said Silence, second one. What are yours?
mine would be, so I'm a Scorsese fan, like I said. So he made this movie way back in the day called Mean Streets.
Yeah.
It's super old, like I think 80s. There are some just clips in that movie where I'm like, one, I love that era of like America and American history. And you know, the old style like mafia stuff. And there's just so many clips in that movie where it's just like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, it shows like American patriotism at its finest. And it's weird like saying patriotism with that movie, you know, they're all criminals for the most part. But it was a sense of what America was back in the day. And you know, it's sort of like Goodfellas. I'd say Goodfellas is like, I would say it's top maybe 8, maybe 5. Another Scorsese one. I remember just the clip of them being, it was the first date with Henry, and I'm blanking on her name. I'm tired. They go into this restaurant called Cava I forget, and it's just one long take. I think like if you search on YouTube, it's called The Long Take Goodfellas. And so they coming from the car, they go to the side entrance, they go down, they're passing by the long line in front, and it was one of my favorite songs playing in the background as well. And so they're just going through just the kitchen all the way up to where like the stages where the people are performing are. And so they get the tables out for them and they sit down in the chair, and he's like just being super fancy on their first date. That like my all-time favorite scene. And of course the movie itself, the story, the plot and everything was great. Number 3, I would say has to be I would say Interstellar. Watching it the second time now.
I forgot to mention Interstellar. That I would have to put down top 5 as well.
Okay.
See, I have to sit down and do my top 5.
Yeah. Because for me, watching it the second time, one, I'm like, I guess I care more about Earth and the environment and and being a multiplanetary species.
Yeah.
So you know, I watched it on our flight back from Cali, and I had such a renewed appreciation for that movie.
Yeah.
It's one of those fine dining ones that we just talked about, where it's like it just gets you locked in. It was just, there's so much, even just, you know, not to ruin it, but just when he's, you know, on that planet and then like things happen. It's just I love it. I love it. So that's definitely in my top 5. And then there's this also, it's like a more of an indie one. It's The Last Black Man in Sacramento. I forget what it was called. I don't know.
Oh, that's
I'm saying
the
these
one
are
on
my favorite
Netflix,
movie.
right?
It was on Netflix, I think.
I think it was like a Netflix special movie. I think you probably told me to watch it.
Yeah,
I
The
never
Last
did.
Black Man in Philadelphia or something. I'm saying these are my favorite movies. I don't know the movie titles, but these are movies that come to mind. I'm not a big movie guy, but and then I would say like
I don't know. I think you are. We've seen some pretty good movies.
yeah, and I say for horror because I want to throw in horror because horror is one of my favorite genres.
Uh huh.
I would have to say Amityville Horror was like my all time.
Is that
It
like
was
the
the
same
scariest
universe as Conjuring and stuff?
I don't think so. No,
No?
but and it's based on true events, which makes it even worse. Yeah, but I would say those are like my top five, and throwing in a horror and stuff too.
All right, so let me ask you this, because I think I'm kind of maybe rethinking my stance on movie theaters.
Okay.
How do you feel about these streaming services offering like movies on their platform only? Like, oh hey, you want to watch this movie? Get Netflix. Oh hey, you want to watch this movie? It's on, you know.
Like gatekeeping content.
Yeah, or like I think on Disney Plus, it's like, oh, you could watch the movie in theater, or you could watch it right now in your home for $30. You know, how do you feel about this exclusivity of like, I guess, being able to watch movies?
So it's good if you have like one platform.
Yeah,
We have others like 17 others.
Yeah.
It ends up being like you're paying for cable again.
mm-hmm.
The thing is, the difference between cable and this format that we have now is that cable, you got 500 channels.
Yeah,
You'd only watch 7 of them,
mm-hmm.
and you can't opt out.
Yeah,
So you have more flexibility with nowadays with the sign up to that subscription model, sign up to this one. But you have to now, like as opposed to having 500 channels, whether you like it or not, you also have to find to see if that movie is on your specific platform. So you may see an ad for it, and you may forget what platform it's on, right?
Yeah.
Is Wicked only on HBO Max, or is it on Hulu, or is it on whatever, right?
Yeah.
That same thing with like football programming, right? I just started becoming a Chargers fan. It's in a different video. I want to watch more football, but it's on YouTube TV.
YouTube TV.
There's the NFL Red Zone.
Prime has a few games.
Prime has a few games. Paramount Plus has the Super Bowl.
ESPN has games.
ESPN has games. I'm like, I can't keep track.
Yeah.
I actually have to resort to streaming it illegally.
Yeah.
Because I literally can't find it.
Yeah.
And I'll do a Google search, right? And it'd be like and I'm willing to like go and search for what platform it is. But sometimes the game's already on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I just need to quickly find it.
Yeah.
So that's the whole, because it's so fragmented, it's hard to find content.
Yeah.
You know Stranger Things is on Netflix and stuff like that, but only the big hitters, right?
Yeah.
There isn't a good filing system for all that. And you
say
have to
one
pay
thing?
for everything.
I just want to add on to your thing. You know what I hate the most is, say you watch a movie. Oh yeah, it was on Netflix. I just watched it last week. Nope. Now it's on Hulu. Why?
I remember. Yeah, Friends was a big thing. Friends was on Netflix.
They're just
forever.
changing every 3 months.
You know what? You know who huge beneficiaries of that are the actors who get paid the royalties for that. When they do a new bid, when Friends went from Netflix to HBO Max, or to Max now, completely, they got paid all over again.
Yeah,
Seinfeld,
you're right.
same,
You're right. Yep.
Same with Seinfeld. Because they rebid for the same content. And people are watching. People still watch Friends. I'm a big
I actually
fan.
started watching Friends when it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
Or was it on... No,
How are you with TV? Like, are you a big TV?
I don't watch TV.
You don't watch TV at all?
I don't watch TV at all.
Like, you would only watch, like, sports games.
No, even... So, I think... Well, we discussed this off air before, but, like, my PC, I just do everything there. And if I need... Like, if I'm having a movie night, if I'm hosting a movie night, Google Chrome... wasn't that Chrome? What's it called? The Chromecast, and the big TV in the basement. Have everyone over, and just there you go. Watch movies like that.
So you don't watch Grey's Anatomy. You don't watch. No,
On
you
TV?
used to watch Dexter.
I know. I never watched Dexter, But no, like TV, like back in the day, like yeah, we'd have TV like for weather and news and stuff like that. You got the weather on your phone, you got news on your phone.
But I mean, like shows. Like what about shows?
Oh, you mean like when I was a kid when I used to watch TV
No,
shows?
like now. You don't watch any
Oh, any new shows?
like shows in general. Like when
I
you whip
so,
up Netflix.
So this is the thing. This is the thing. I'm in like this weird limbo where I can't get myself to watch new shows. So I rewatch old shows. So I rewatch Scrubs.
Okay, Scrubs. That was it.
I never watched that like out of like I never watched it when I had TV. I watched it when I had like a streaming service. House. I'm rewatching House. I don't know. I just can't like. And the thing is, it's not like I'm trying to wait for a show that just has everything I want. I just like. I guess I just like. It's just comforting, you know, rewatching old shows. But that being said, I was convinced recently to watch Severance. Amazing. That's all I'm gonna say. If you guys haven't watched Severance, do
Where is
yourself a
it?
favor, watch it right now.
Where is it on?
It's on Apple TV.
Yeah.
Speaking of Apple TV, do you think they're doing a good job on having content? I feel like their content is like flat, like how you were saying with Netflix's is. Like, you know, you said they had like the same actors and the same this, and the story kind of was the same, things were the same. I
Yeah.
feel like some of their shows are like that. Like they have a few heavy, like really nice shows. Like, oh my god, the show's amazing, the show's amazing. But I feel like a few other shows they have around it aren't as good.
They had another space show, didn't they? Was it called like the Singularity or something or Single?
There's
What
so
is it
they have a
called?
bunch of space shows. They have I think that one's called Foundation.
The Foundation.
There
I said
is
the
another
Singularity.
no there's another show. It's something like that. I can't remember
Did
the
you
name
like
of
it? Did you watch it?
I watched the first episode or two episodes,
It was
and
okay?
I did after the second episode. I'll be honest. I'm like, this like what the story was in the first episode, and how far they moved in the second one was so far. Like I'm like, how did you explain this? Like it just didn't. It was just too convenient. I'm like, okay, this doesn't seem like it's written well. I stopped watching it immediately.
I'd say Apple TV hasn't had a lot of hits where it makes people want to keep their subscription. Like
Yeah.
for me, when I think of Netflix, I think I'm gonna get bangers once a month, once every few months.
Yeah.
So I just keep it.
Yeah.
Apple TV is one of those I'll get it to watch a show on it and I
Yeah.
turn it off for that month.
Yeah.
And I'll pay $10-15
Mhm.
and I'll watch whatever else is on there, right?
Yeah.
Netflix is like my keeper
Yeah.
subscription. I'd say Max is also my keeper subscription.
Mm-hmm.
I would do well, the one off for Paramount Plus as well. Like what's on Paramount Plus besides the games?
Idea. Well, actually, so is it Paramount Plus or is it Peacock? I think Peacock has like NASCAR and IndyCar on it.
Really?
So like if you're a huge fan, like you know you would get those subscriptions. But going back to Apple TV thing, I know now like if you buy like a MacBook or an iPad or something, they're like, oh, 3 months on us for Apple TV. So
Yeah,
and that's good
They're
because
giving it away because
Yeah.
they, you get a new device from Apple, they're giving it away.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think that's smart because you want people to
I
see
think it's
what they
smart.
have.
I just think that the content isn't following suit. They need a team of people that are willing to, and they need volume. Like
Yeah.
they need to take scripts away from Netflix and
Yeah.
all these others, right?
Severance, amazing. I used to watch Ted Lasso on that. That's like a very good show. People really like that show on.
And honestly, like, I think for me too, I think my consumption patterns have changed. So, I'm not watching a lot of TV shows as much anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a big documentary guy nowadays. I love my crime documentaries, and Netflix has a good content for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about Prime too. Prime's another one. Jeez.
Prime actually has a lot of movies.
Prime has a lot of movies, a lot of indie movies.
Yeah.
They partner with, I think, Freevee or Tubi, all these streaming platforms.
Yeah.
So like, there's free stuff that you don't even need Prime for, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of those indie movies that I love. Like I'm a big indie guy.
Yeah.
Even with games, I'm starting to get into that too on the gaming side. And it's just when you put
Have you seen Lighthouse?
when you put your passion into something, you see it reflected in your work, and it's not just a money making thing. Lighthouse, no.
Yes. Watch. You see like any movies? Watch Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Watch Lighthouse, and the same director made was it The Northman? I think it was called. I'll have to look it up. Amazing movie. Robert Eggers is the director. Watch Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe and Robert
Defoe. not the
Robert
hero.
Pattinson's in it, right? That's his name. Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Um, like, what do you think? What do you think movies are gonna be like? Like, so I know we talked about this at the coffee shop the other day. There's, AI
Mm.
replacing writers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Do you think we're gonna be at a point where we're just, more of the commercialization of movies are gonna happen, where, they're just gonna have they want to just sell at the
Mm-hmm.
lowest dollar, not really pay actors well. Like, what do you think's gonna happen in like 5 to 10 years, or do you think it's gonna be
I think
stale?
I think if they do that, I think that's the thing with cinema. You can give it like you said, when you don't put passion in it, you see it on the other end, right? So if you don't put passion in a movie project that you're working on, you're gonna see your audience be like, "Hey, this doesn't this seems boring. This isn't very interesting. I'm not captivated by this." So yeah, they can get AI to write scripts or maybe act, like maybe get like CGI acting in it, whatever. Maybe they could fix up however that technology works. But the thing is, you're missing the human element, right? The emotional element that the director's gonna put in, the actor's gonna put in, the writer's writing in to the script, right? All these little facets, everyone's putting a little bit of passion in their own little like avenue, and it comes together in that movie. That's why when we watch a movie like Interstellar, we're so captivated because everyone like that passion in that project was so huge. Like there was no way for you to not feel so compelled. Even Revenant, remember we watched Revenant?
Yep.
Amazing movie. But yeah, they can. But I feel like cinema is such a big thing in everyone's life that people are gonna complain. Like, hey, we want something of substance.
Do you think AI will ever get to the point where they can tap into the human element?
I don't know.
Remember at the coffee shop the
Yeah.
same day, you said to me, if was it you or was
I
it?
don't remember.
Anyways, you were like, listen, let's feed AI all the good movies,
Oh, okay, yeah, and then
right? Just and then tell it to create a movie out of that, tranche of movies.
you said
Yeah,
something about that.
yeah, right.
What did you reply? Because
So
your reply was interesting.
what I said was, and I was spitting game back then. I don't even remember all of it, but
You said like the queries is gonna put out like it's not gonna know how people are gonna react to something. I think that's what it was.
so yes. So roughly what I said was,
Mm-hmm.
you can give it all that.
Mm-hmm.
You can even give it bad movies,
Yeah.
right? Things that are rated low on Rotten Tomatoes, and say these are bad movies. Avoid doing and looking like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the AI, in my opinion, can't parse why these movies are good. They just know what good movies are,
Yeah.
right? They don't know that it's how the actor, how the wrinkles in someone's face to show the stress
Yeah.
in that scene that you can kind of relate to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's the subtle cultural things
Mm-hmm.
that play, right? Like if you're gonna do something that is that you want to portray, like think about think of a Tyler Perry movie, like what was the first one?
I have no idea. I think I know what you're trying to say. Can I try to
Get
say
Out.
what you're trying to say? Get
Out.
Out. That was not Tyler Perry.
Get Out. No, not Tyler Perry.
You're talking about Key or Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. There we go.
That subtle nuance of him
Yeah.
pick of the guy in the movie picking the cotton out of the armrest,
Yeah.
and that signifying slavery,
Yeah.
right? Like, if you feed it to AI, like feed that scene, it's just gonna think it's some person doing that.
Yeah.
There's no second
Context.
dimension
Yeah.
of understanding on that, right? So when you do that, when you try to have AI create something out of just looking at movies, they can't interpret. They don't have the cultural understanding as well of society to create something that will entertain society.
Yeah.
You have to know that piece as well. And you have to understand that, like with that creativity, with generating that content, there is so much other elements that only humans can understand and do
Mm-hmm.
to enact a sort of emotion.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think the AI will ever be able to reproduce that.
Do you
Ever.
do you think do you think it I know you just said ever be able to reproduce that. Do you think if we gave AI the reasons behind this, right? Like, oh hey, this movie was good because of XYZ, and gave it the understanding of all the relevancies of that movie, why these things are happening, what the context of this means, and like even the social aspect. This movie, was like this in the beginning, but after so many years, it's one of the greatest like classical movies. Do you think if we teach AI something like that, and then we're like make a movie that like move us, do you think like are you afraid that's gonna show a movie that's so like horrifying? Like example, when you watch a movie where the director just basically like puts a mirror in front of you, like this is what society's like, this is what you guys are all doing, and we're like, oh my god, like right? Do you like? And the thing is, the director knows how much to show or like not show or like they're I should say censoring it, but they're not gonna be extremely vulgar with their art, right? Do you think AI would just like make a movie like a F you human society, and it's just like the worst things happen? We're like, wow, we're like that. Like, do you think that will happen? Like a wake up call to humanity type movie.
Again, wake up call to humanity, right? The wake up call is subjective,
Yeah.
whereas, and then the humanity part, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you teach something to some AI that you can't explain, like your spirit,
Mm-hmm.
or like your soul,
Mm-hmm.
or like
Color.
color, right? It weaves into that. It goes a little bit back to what you're saying about we said this off the air too, about like a language, right?
Mm-hmm.
AI doesn't learn a language. I think you said language. It doesn't learn a language. It mimics the language, so it doesn't understand the nuances. Or was it driving?
Oh no! I think you're talking about the Chinese room experiment with the guy because he was. It was about consciousness, about like if AI can have consciousness or not.
No. It was
You're talking
about.
about
It was about like.
I think. Or you're talking about the wine cup thing example where like.
No. I know
Okay.
that. Actually, we could talk about that right after this,
Okay.
but maybe it wasn't you. So AI is really good at mimicking things.
Yeah.
So it can mimic how to make pancakes. It can mimic how to drive a car. It can mimic all these things. But it doesn't know,
Mm-hmm.
like, talk about language. It can mimic, okay, if you say these words,
Mm-hmm.
I can say words back.
Yeah.
But it doesn't know the language.
Yeah.
It can't, like, it takes someone producing something
Yeah.
in order for it to like rebound with something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to say a certain amount of words, the AI will try to match or mimic
Yeah.
a response to those set of words.
Yeah.
It doesn't know what these words mean, the etymology of it,
Yeah.
right? It's just giving you a prompt in return
Yeah,
that it
yeah.
thinks that it's going to satisfy your query.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like going back to even the cup thing,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like the AI is also only as good as the information you feed it.
Mm-hmm.
With every, even intricate biases are baked into the model.
Yeah.
So when you have something like AI, say if you tell it to create an image of a wine glass that's full,
Yeah.
it can't do that because it's only been trained on wine glasses that are half full,
Yeah.
because that's typically how you serve wine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you could feed it a trillion images of wine. It's still never going to get it right.
Yeah.
It plays into that. And at the end of the day, even if you had someone baking into the algorithm like a full glass of wine, right? Think about the other things in life that we need to do that for.
Yeah.
These edge cases. We know, we can assume, we can generate in our head what a full glass of wine looks like by looking at a half a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Right? But AI can't do that. AI can't fill in the void.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I don't think. That's what I'm saying. Like the AI, like what I said earlier, AI you know, the companies, whoever the producers, um, they can pay someone else with like a cheap script written by AI, right? But that's the thing; it's just gonna give you like whatever. It could be good, it could be decent. Maybe you could work on it, make it a little bit better, polish it up. But it's that passion, and it's with any art. It's
You
with
can't replace.
music. It's with video games. It's with actual like art. You know, cooking. You know, when you go somewhere or when you go to someone's house and they make the food with love and they're like, oh, I want to not just impress my friends, I want to feed them. Like that's what gets me excited and happy. Like you taste that in the food, you know. And same with movies. Like if that passion isn't there, the project isn't gonna be as good.
And I also want to just clarify something. I'm not trying to say that AI will have no impact
Yeah, yeah,
on the movie industry as well, because
yeah,
there are things right now being worked on
yeah. Mm-hmm.
that are going to be life changing
Yeah,
when it comes down to AI. And I think we've talked about it before. The unification of quantum computing plus AI
yeah,
is going to have significant ramifications on our economy and
yeah.
in the entertainment industry. So not only movie but games as well. I can see dramatically less staff for movies, and I can see dramatically more movies.
Mm-hmm.
I can see, just like how there was a barrier to entry for people on YouTube creating content,
Yeah,
that has been lowered significantly, right? Everyone has a phone now. Everyone has, mics are cheaper to get now.
yeah,
Software is easier to use now.
yeah.
That's going to happen in the music industry. You're going to see things reduce in cost.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see things being easier to do. Like, hey, generate four, like you can ask the AI, hey, generate in my scene right here 4 boxes with a lamppost next to it.
Yeah,
Instead of having to go out and take a picture, putting 4 boxes next to
yeah.
a lamppost, I can see AI doing the subtle things, the things that really don't matter to the movie. It doesn't matter how the car's tires look on the car being driven in the movie, or the screws,
Yeah.
what design they are, or whatever, right? They just need the main meat is from the person in the car driving.
Let me ask you this though: there are a lot of directors out there that like to avoid as much CGI as possible because they want the most authentic and real image in their movie.
I like that.
How do you think they like? What do you feel about that? What would you be your answer to that?
So when I say AI is going to have a dramatic impact, it's going to have a dramatic impact. Let's say 100% native movie, natural movie, no artificial things at all. No, even the sound effects are real, right? You're still going to have the logistics of the movie heavily driven by AI and heavily efficient by AI. You're going to have, instead of the people who schedule having all the actors on set, finding the locations, you're going to have AI sending queries out to a venue saying, hey, listen, we want to film a movie here. And then if the person on the other end of the line says, oh, how long you need it for, the AI is ready to answer that. They call them SQL agents, not SQL agents. They call them AI, or generative AI agents, essentially. And so you'll have one for scheduling. You'll have one for like calling the people, or you have one negotiating salaries, right? You're gonna have all of them in these different pockets, different silos, doing different functions built on past experiences, right? Think about take 10 movies, all AAA. 10 different people went to 10 different locations, saying roughly the same 10 different things. Hey, we want to shoot a movie here. I'm just talking about the venue example. I want to shoot a movie here. How much will it be? Blah, blah, blah. And there's back and forth, right? Yeah. You can totally cut that person out and have AI do the whole thing. You're still going to have the set.
Yeah.
Or even someone who gets in the supply, right?
Yeah.
Like, we need, these costumes. Like, think of Squid Game, right? We need 100 of these costumes, right? Have AI do all the grunt work for you, where you just focus on the creative.
What do you feel about? Because while you were saying this, I was thinking, I'm like, what if you had AI fix the mic. Like it knows like, oh hey, this isn't what, like say the director gives it parameters like, oh I want it to be like this, this range. I want this type of noise out. You think AI, like that'd be interesting to see?
I think that's probably gonna be one of the first implementations of AI.
Yeah.
And by the way, I got a new mic.
Yeah.
It does that. It's AI fine tuning of sound, right? People do that right now with AI fine tuning people's images and videos, right?
Yeah.
Like on the new iOS 18, I think it is, right? I can using whatever it is, like the AI engine, the neural engine for Apple's chip, I can scrub an area. Like let's say there's I got together with someone, I broke up with them, I'm gonna crop their face out. It'll use AI to generate a background image in place of that person's face. So it'll take that person's face that I scribble out, and it'll, using AI, create a fancy edit of them being taken out of the picture.
Yeah.
And tries to understand the background. Like that's already been done now.
Yeah.
On a personal level.
Yeah.
It's going to be implemented across the board in commercial applications and in movies.
I think it's definitely interesting to see where cinema goes, right? You have like pioneers that make, that call for different IMAX technologies, right? You have people making movies where, maybe the length of movies are getting longer now because people want to like stay there and really enjoy it. So I think from where cinema once was and where it's at now, I'm curious to see where like how our entertainment goes and what nuances we get from it. But that being said, like I just need them to give us like better content. Give us better, don't give us the same cookie cutter story.
Give me better one-liners.
And it's easier to say like, oh, give me better stuff, right? What is better, right? Subjective, but I don't know. I just feel like there isn't anything interesting out right now for me to go out and spend my time and watch it, even if it's for $5.
I was watching. So Strauss Zelnick is Take-Two Interactive CEO. Take-Two Interactive is the parent company of Rockstar Games, who makes Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And so he said, like, someone asked him, like, hey, is AI being leveraged enough in gaming? And do we see, like, a point where we're peaking when it comes down to gaming? He said no. It is not. There's still a lot of innovation to be done in video games. It hasn't plateaued yet. Whereas the movie industry, which he came from, movies been around for a while.
Yeah.
And they're sort of plateauing. The next movie has a huge standard to fill than the previous one. Like, think of even sequels. People hate sequels.
Yeah.
Because it's building off of the back of the first movie, right? And especially, we've seen so many movies relative to the amount of games we played. We have such a high expectation because it's like, okay, how differentiated is this movie going to be versus the 18 million movies I've seen in the past, right? So that already sets it at a wrong foot. That's why I like the abstractly different, like the Inceptions, the Interstellars, right? A break away from the mainstream. That is always a good dose of movie for me.
Definitely watch Lighthouse then.
Yeah. And whatever the other one was.
Severance. Watch Severance. Please.
Yeah, no, anything else you want to, before we close out?
I cut my foot. It hurts.
Moon,
I've been thinking about it, the whole time.
You're so random.
You say anything else?
Anything else to close out this whole segment about movies?
My foot hurts, but when I watch a good show like Severance or watch a good movie, I completely forget the pain of my foot. And that's what a movie should do. Make you forget about your pain and your sorrows.
And your
or
foot.
whatever it is you're dealing with the world, you're in that world.
Just go to a movie theater.
It's easier said than done. Make the movies good. Make the popcorn cheap.
Make the movie tickets cheaper because it's $17 to go see Den of Thieves 2.
How? Are you watching it IMAX?
No, I was getting it online though, maybe.
Oh yeah, the fees, that's the thing. You gotta go to the theater to get
it's like freaking Ticketmaster.
You mean Fandango?
No, it's like Ticketmaster where you have all
Oh.
these hidden fees.
Oh yeah. No, Fandango has
How much
like
how much is the movie now? $6 for Tuesdays, right?
it's like $6.25, I think.
Then how much for?
I know you get how much do they still do is if you watch like the first showing of the day for that movie, it's cheap, like it's discounted. And then obviously like the $5 Tuesday, but yeah, I think movie tickets are like anywhere between like $13 for like the
Get
basic
the
ticket to
heck
upwards of
outta
like
here.
$20, $30. And depending on what kind of theater you go to, what your amenities you're getting, you know.
Yeah, AMC versus your regular
Yeah.
local one.
Dolby Atmos, you're getting IMAX, you're getting the 4D movie where the
Shake.
seat's shaking like this.
I remember I was watching what was that Will Smith one with him and the
I
clone?
think you and I watched it together, right?
Did we?
What was it called? It was like the first movie that came out in like 120 frames or something.
Yeah, 120 frames. Yeah.
And
Gemini.
Gemini? No, was it Gemini? Gemini Man?
Gemini Man.
I can't remember,
Maybe.
but and it was what
I
else
re-
was?
I
It was
remember I
like 4K or something.
Yeah, it was 4K 120. I remember it was like we're watching it and all you see is we're like this and the sheets just go like this. You get a quick seizure because he fell off a building. So.
Yeah.
I would like that in like a car movie, like Fast and Furious. Like
Oh no!
like
You're
if he's
gonna be like this,
if he's skinny, like you
like
know.
that.
Actually, I'm doing it wrong, but that would be cool. But kind of annoying after a while.
You get sick.
Remember
you try
the
to pop run.
remember the movie theaters with the scent, those like spray scent.
I miss those.
Yo, that is, yo. By the way, COVID-19. Like I don't want to say COVID-19 on the stream, but that would have been the worst thing to do during a pandemic. If you think about it, like
Because of the mask, you won't smell anything.
yeah, exactly. It's like, yo, I
You
can't
see those a
imagine
lot,
that.
like at theme parks. I remember I watched like this Shrek. Was it Shrek or it was like a DreamWorks movie, and I think one of the characters farts, and like you're like, oh god, I'm expecting it, and then just, and you're like, eh. The whole theater's like, oh my god.
That's hilarious. Oh my god. Nah, but I think we'll close on that note.
Severance, watch it, guys.
Thank you for watching. We'll try to upload, at least once or twice a week. Try and do 2 videos. Let us know if you have any more content ideas, right? If you guys want to hear more business from us, I know we say a lot about that. Music, and movies now.
Philosophy,
Gaming is
art,
coming up.
Gaming, yeah. Cars, whatever. We just like to talk.
We know a lot about...
Enough
I'm sorry.
time.
We know our breadth is this, our depth is this. So we know a little about a lot of things.
Please like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, and please give us some feedback. It's very valuable to us.
We love you.
Bye, guys.